Can I say something to the kid who's smiling but carrying something nobody else knows about? This one's for you. Maybe you saw things you should have never seen. Maybe you experienced things you should have never experienced. Maybe someone taught you things they never should have. Maybe you were hurt, rejected, abandoned, bullied, or made to feel like you didn't matter. And before I say anything else, I need you to hear me. I'm sorry. I am so sorry for what happened to you. You deserved to be protected. You deserved to feel safe. You deserved to have adults who fought for you. And if nobody has ever told you that, I'm telling you now, what happened wasn't the way that it was supposed to be. But listen very carefully. What happened to you may explain some of your struggles. It does not have to define your future. It does not get the final say. Can I tell you one of the biggest lies that pain tries to tell us? It says because something in your life might have felt good, that it must be good for you. No. Sometimes something can feel good in the moment and still be terrible for the person that you're becoming. That's one of the hardest lessons that you will ever learn, because your brain learns from repetition. The more you repeat something, the easier it becomes to repeat again. That's why some thoughts, some reactions, some temptations feel automatic. It's not always because that's who you are. Sometimes it's because your mind learned a pattern. But here's the good news. If your brain can learn unhealthy patterns, it can also learn healthy ones. You can build new habits. You can learn to think differently. You can choose different friends. You can put yourself around safe people who help you become stronger. You can become more than your experiences. And maybe you've noticed something about yourself. Somebody corrects you, you get angry, you feel like you're losing control, you lash out. When somebody gets close, you start to push them away. Sometimes your body is still trying to protect you. It learned to stay on guard. It learned to expect pain. But listen, not everybody is your enemy. Not everybody is actually trying to hurt you. And healing often begins when your heart starts learning that it's safe to trust the right people. Can I tell you what breaks my heart? Some of you blame yourselves for things that you never chose. And sadly, some of you keep choosing things that are hurting you because they become familiar. But familiar doesn't always mean healthy. And I know some of you smile so nobody asks if you're okay. You make jokes. You act wild. You become the class clown. You keep everybody around you laughing. But when you're finally alone, you still hurt. Listen to me. You don't have to become the funniest kid in the room to deserve love. You don't have to shock people to matter. You don't have to perform to be valuable. You already are. The Bible says God is faithful, who will not let you be tempted beyond what you can bear. But when you are tempted, he will also provide a way out so that you can endure it. Did you hear that? A way out. Not every temptation will disappear, but every temptation has a way out. Sometimes the way out looks like walking away. Sometimes it looks like turning your phone off. Sometimes it looks like leaving the room. Sometimes it looks like calling somebody you trust. Sometimes it looks like praying when every part of you wants to give in. But there is always a next right step. And every time you choose that way out, you're building a new path for yourself. It might not feel easier tomorrow, but one decision turns into another and another. And one day you'll realize you're not the same person that you used to be. And I think it would be helpful if before we finish, we had a little talk about forgiveness, because some of you are carrying so much anger. And honestly, I understand why. But forgiveness doesn't mean what happened was okay. It doesn't mean there shouldn't be consequences. It doesn't mean you trust somebody who continues to hurt you. It doesn't even mean you stop protecting yourself with healthy boundaries. Forgiveness means I'm not going to let what happened control the rest of my life. I'm not going to give my pain the final word. I'm giving God the final word. The Bible says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Don't let the people who wounded you keep living rent-free in your head. Guard it, not by pretending that it never happened, but letting God heal what was broken. So here's today's challenge. Take it to God. Everything. The anger, the fear, the memories, the questions you have, the shame, the temptation, because God already knows. And if you're carrying something that's too heavy to carry alone, ask God to lead you to a safe adult, a parent, a grandparent, a coach, a pastor, a mentor, someone who loves you enough to help you walk towards healing. You were never supposed to fight every battle by yourself. Listen to me one last time. You are not what happened to you. You are not your worst mistake. You are not your strongest temptation. You are not too far gone. You are not damaged goods. You are deeply loved by God, and your story isn't over. In fact, I believe one day the very place that hurt you may become the place that God uses you to help somebody else find hope. Victims believe their story ended at the pain. Overcomers tell the truth about the pain and then keep walking towards healing. So don't let yesterday write tomorrow. Give God the pen and let him write a story that your pain never thought was possible. I'll see you in the next episode.